Welcome back to Talk Tickers, the show where we take earnings calls and kind of break them down and give you the insights you need to stay ahead of the game. Today, we're diving into Global E's Q3 2024 earnings call.
Okay.
Global E, GLBE.
Right.
They're the platform that helps businesses navigate all the complexities of cross-border e-commerce.
Yeah. And they had quite a quarter.
Yeah.
Their performance this time around really underscores the ongoing shift
For sure.
towards global online shopping.
Absolutely. And we've got the transcript right here.
Okay.
And the numbers are impressive.
Yeah.
Revenue and GMV both soared over 30% year over year,
Wow.
blowing past their own projections.
Yeah. For those unfamiliar with GMV, that stands for gross merchandise value.
Right.
It's basically the total value of goods sold through Global E's platform.
Right.
So that 30% jump is a strong signal that more businesses are tapping into global markets and more shoppers are comfortable buying internationally.
Totally. And it's not just growth for the sake of growth either.
Right.
Their adjusted EBITDA, which gives us a peek into their profitability, shot up nearly 41%.
That's huge.
So it seems like helping businesses sell globally is a pretty lucrative business model.
It certainly is.
Part of Globally success this quarter can be attributed to snagging some major new clients.
Yeah, some big names.
We're talking luxury department store Harrods.
Wow, yeah.
The one with the fancy Christmas windows.
Yes.
Footwear brand Dr. Martens.
Okay.
And even football clubs like Manchester United and Bayern Munich.
Wow.
That's a pretty diverse mix of brands.
Yeah.
But they all have one thing in common: global recognition. So what do you think this tells us about Globally's strategy?
It seems they're targeting brands with that established international appeal.
Yeah.
Brands that already have a customer base eager for their products, no matter where they live.
Yeah.
And this minimizes the need to educate consumers on the brand itself and allows Globally to focus on making the transaction seamless.
That makes sense. And it's not just about landing new clients.
Right.
Global is also expanding its relationships with existing ones. They've completed the global rollout for Victoria's Secret, for instance.
That's a great example of what's known as a land and expand strategy.
Okay.
You start by offering core services to a client and then gradually expand those services to meet their evolving needs.
Right.
It's about building trust and becoming an indispensable partner.
Yeah, so they're not just facilitating transactions.
Yeah.
They're becoming integrated into these companies' global growth strategies.
Exactly.
That's a powerful position to be in.
Yeah, for sure.
And Global isn't stopping there.
Nope.
They're constantly innovating and rolling out new features to further simplify cross-border selling.
Right.
One of the highlights from the call was their pilot program for buy online, pick up in store,
Okay.
or BOPIS for international shoppers.
Oh, interesting.
Imagine being able to order those Italian leather boots online
Okay.
and picking them up at a store in your own country.
Yeah, it's a clever move.
Yeah.
BOPIS has been a game changer domestically.
Yeah.
And Global is smartly applying that concept to the international market. It addresses concerns about long shipping times and potentially high delivery costs, which can be major deterrents for cross-border shoppers.
Totally. And they're also experimenting with new shipping and return options to smooth out the entire process.
So streamlining logistics is key.
Yeah.
If Global can make the shipping and returns process as painless as possible, it removes another layer of friction for both businesses and shoppers.
Absolutely. And get this, they're even using AI to help merchants accurately classify products for duties and taxes.
Oh, wow. That's a huge win for businesses.
Yeah.
As incorrect classifications can lead to delays, fines, and frustrated customers. By automating this process with AI, Global adds another layer of efficiency and reliability to its platform.
Speaking of efficiency, let's talk about the resurrection of borderfree.com.
Okay.
Remember that online portal that connected shoppers to international brands?
Yes, I remember that.
Global is bringing it back.
Oh, cool.
Reimagined as a demand generation tool.
Interesting.
Think of it as a curated marketplace.
Okay.
Where shoppers can discover unique brands from all over the world.
Hundreds of merchants are already on board.
Yeah.
And Global is clearly betting big on this to drive even more sales.
Right. It's an interesting strategy.
Yeah.
Instead of just being a behind-the-scenes facilitator, they're stepping into the spotlight.
Right.
And actively connecting consumers with brands. It could be a powerful way to tap into new customer segments
Yeah,
and increase brand awareness.
for sure.
So Global is firing on all cylinders, strong growth, new clients, innovative features.
Yep.
And now this borderfree.com relaunch, they're clearly a force to be reckoned with in the cross-border e-commerce space.
Indeed. But let's delve a bit deeper into the financials and look ahead to what they're projecting for Q4 and beyond.
All right, so the big news is Global is forecasting an even faster growth rate in Q4.
Oh, wow.
Nearly 40%.
That's an incredibly bullish prediction.
Yeah.
Especially considering they've already exceeded expectations for Q3.
Right.
It suggests that they're seeing strong momentum across their business and anticipate a surge in cross-border shopping during the holiday season.
And their full-year adjusted EBITDA is expected to jump by almost 50%.
Nice.
This continued focus on profitability is something investors will appreciate.
Absolutely. It demonstrates that their growth isn't coming at the expense of their bottom line.
Right.
They're scaling efficiently and proving they can translate increased revenue into tangible profits.
It sounds like they have a robust pipeline of potential clients, meaning this growth trajectory is likely to continue.
Yeah. They mentioned on the call that their sales pipeline is stronger than ever.
Right.
That's a positive sign for future growth and suggests they're attracting significant interest from businesses looking to expand their global reach.
This raises an interesting question, though.
Okay.
If Globalee's success is any indication, the appetite for international products is clearly growing.
Yeah.
But what are the implications of this trend for businesses that haven't yet embraced cross-border e-commerce?
That's a great point. Global sees success is a wake-up call for businesses that are still hesitant to venture into international markets.
Yeah.
They're demonstrating that the opportunity is real.
Right.
And the tools are available to make it happen.
It makes you wonder how the competitive landscape will evolve as more and more businesses recognize the potential of global e-commerce.
It'll be interesting to see how established players adapt and what new entrants emerge to capitalize on this growing market. The next few years will likely be a period of significant transformation in the e-commerce industry.
It certainly seems like Global is well positioned to lead the charge. But before we get too carried away, we should also acknowledge the potential challenges and risks they might face.
Of course, no business is immune to challenges, especially in a dynamic and evolving industry like e-commerce.
Yeah.
In part 2 of this deep dive, we'll examine some of those potential headwinds from macroeconomic factors to competitive pressures and explore how Globally might navigate them.
Stay tuned for that. And don't miss our This Is Not Financial Advice segment, where we'll toss around a completely outrageous but potentially lucrative idea inspired by Globalee's success.
Sounds good.
All right, let's take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Okay.
Welcome back to Talk Tickers. We're continuing our deep dive into Globalee's Q3 2024 earnings call.
Yeah.
And things are looking pretty rosy for the cross-border e-commerce platform.
They certainly have painted an optimistic picture, but as with any investment, it's crucial to consider the potential challenges and risks that Global might encounter.
Because no company operates in a vacuum.
Right.
So let's start with the big picture. The global economic landscape.
Okay.
Inflation, rising interest rates, geopolitical tensions.
Right.
Those aren't exactly tailwinds for any business.
Especially one that relies so heavily on discretionary spending, as Global does.
Yeah.
If consumers start tightening their belts, those international purchases might be the first to go.
True. So even though Global has shown resilience in the past in navigating these volatile markets, a prolonged economic downturn could definitely impact their growth trajectory.
Yeah. It's something to keep in mind.
Yeah, for sure.
Another factor to consider is competition.
Okay.
Global might be the leader in cross-border e-commerce solutions, but they're not the only player in the game.
Right. We're seeing several large e-commerce platforms and payment providers expanding their international capabilities.
Look, exactly.
And this could lead to increased competition for both merchants and shoppers.
Yeah. Global will need to continue innovating and offering unique value propositions to maintain its competitive edge.
For sure.
It's not enough to just facilitate transactions.
Yeah.
They need to provide a comprehensive suite of services that helps businesses truly thrive in global markets.
That makes sense. Speaking of innovation, it's worth noting that the pace of technological advancement in e-commerce is relentless.
Oh, yeah.
Global will need to constantly invest in research and development to ensure its platform remains cutting edge.
Absolutely. Falling behind in the tech race could quickly erode their advantage.
Right.
And it's not just about keeping up with the latest trends.
Right.
It's about anticipating future needs and
Yeah.
developing solutions that stay ahead of the curve.
Yeah. And let's not forget about Globally.'s reliance on strategic partnerships.
Yeah.
While collaborations with companies like Shopify have been incredibly successful, these relationships can be complex and require careful management.
You're right. A shift in priorities or strategies at a partner company could have a ripple effect on Globally.'s business.
For sure.
They'll need to nurture those relationships and ensure continued alignment to mitigate potential disruptions.
It's like any relationship, communication and a shared vision are key.
Right.
Another layer of complexity comes from the ever-changing regulatory landscape. Cross-border e-commerce is subject to a complex web of laws and regulations.
Right.
And these can vary significantly from country to country.
Navigating this regulatory maze can be a major challenge, both in terms of cost and compliance, changes in trade policies, import duties, or data privacy laws could all directly impact Globally.'s operations.
So Globally.'s will need to stay agile and adaptable to ensure they remain compliant and avoid potential legal hurdles. That's a lot to juggle.
It is, but despite these potential headwinds, there's a lot to be optimistic about. Globally has a strong leadership team, a clear vision, and a proven track record of execution.
Right. They've also demonstrated a commitment to customer centricity and innovation, which will be crucial as they navigate these challenges and continue to scale their business.
Right. Their focus on building a platform that solves real pain points for both merchants and shoppers positions them well for continued success.
So while acknowledging the risks is essential, it seems like Globally.'s well-equipped to face them head on. They're not just reacting to industry trends. They're shaping them.
Absolutely. Their proactive approach and their willingness to embrace new technologies and business models suggests they're in it for the long haul.
And their financial performance certainly backs that up.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we promised a This Is Not Financial Advice segment.
Okay.
Where we throw out a wild, speculative trade idea.
All right.
Inspired by Globally.'s success. Are you ready for this?
Always. Let's hear it.
Okay, so Global is clearly benefiting from the surge in cross-border e-commerce. But they're primarily focused on helping established brands expand globally.
Right.
What if we look for companies that are tapping into a different but related trend?
Okay.
The rise of niche or localized products, finding a global audience.
Interesting. You're thinking about companies that are catering to specific interests or cultural preferences that transcend geographical boundaries.
Think about the success of platforms like Etsy.
Okay.
Where unique, handcrafted goods from all over the world have found a global market.
Right.
What if there's an opportunity to invest in companies that are early in this game, companies that are curating and promoting niche products with the potential to become the next big international sensations?
Now, that's a thought-provoking idea.
Yeah.
Imagine a platform that specializes in connecting, say, independent Japanese fashion designers with a global audience of streetwear enthusiasts, or a company that sources rare and exotic spices from remote villages and makes them accessible to gourmet chefs worldwide.
It's about identifying those hidden gems, those products or brands that have a passionate following, but haven't yet reached their full global potential.
Yeah.
And then when they inevitably partner with a company like Global to streamline their international expansion boom, you're positioned for a potential windfall.
It's a bold strategy, no doubt.
Yeah.
And it would require some serious due diligence to identify the right companies with the right products and the right market fit.
Of course, this is all purely speculative.
Yeah.
We're just having some fun exploring the possibilities.
Right.
But it highlights the potential for savvy investors to capitalize on the broader trends that Globally success represents.
Right. And it underscores the importance of thinking outside the box and looking beyond the obvious when it comes to identifying investment opportunities.
So while we wouldn't recommend anyone rush out and make investment decisions based on our wild speculation,
of course not,
we do think it's a valuable exercise to think critically about the evolving e-commerce landscape and the companies that are shaping it.
Absolutely. And Globally.'s story is a compelling one, full of valuable lessons for both businesses and investors.
In part 3, we'll wrap up our deep dive with some key takeaways and final thoughts on Globally.'s future prospects. So stay tuned. Welcome back to Talk Techers. We've spent this episode dissecting Global-e's Q3 2024 earnings call.
Yeah.
Exploring their impressive growth and the forces shaping the cross-border e-commerce landscape.
It's been quite a journey.
Yeah.
From analyzing their strategic partnerships to speculating on wild trade ideas.
Right.
We've covered a lot of ground.
We have. But before we wrap up,
yeah,
let's distill everything we've discussed into some key takeaways for our listeners.
Sounds good. Where should we start?
Well, I think the most obvious takeaway is that Global is a company at the forefront of a major trend. The globalization of e-commerce.
Absolutely. Their success is a clear indication that the lines between domestic and international markets are blurring.
For sure.
Consumers are increasingly comfortable shopping from anywhere in the world.
Right.
And businesses are realizing the massive opportunity this presents.
Right. Global is essentially bridging the gap between supply and demand on a global scale.
Yeah.
Making it easier for businesses to sell internationally and for consumers to access products from all corners of the world.
And they're doing it in a way that's both innovative and profitable.
Right.
Their focus on technology, their strategic partnerships, and their customer-centric approach have all contributed to their impressive growth and financial performance.
That focus on profitability is something we can't emphasize enough.
Yeah.
In a market that often prioritizes growth at all costs.
Right.
Global is demonstrating that it's possible to scale rapidly while also maintaining a healthy bottom line.
Exactly, and that's a powerful message for investors. It suggests that Global is building a sustainable business with long-term growth potential.
But as we discussed earlier, it's not all smooth sailing.
Right.
There are potential headwinds and challenges that Global will need to navigate.
Of course, macroeconomic factors, competitive pressures, technological advancements, and regulatory hurdles. These are all realities that any company in the space needs to contend with.
Right, and while Global-e seems well-positioned to face these challenges, it's important for investors to understand the risks and to monitor how the company adapts to changing market conditions.
Agreed. No investment is without risk, and due diligence is always essential.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's your overall assessment of Global-e's future prospects?
I'm cautiously optimistic they've demonstrated strong leadership, a sound strategy, and a commitment to innovation. If they can continue to execute on their vision and navigate the inevitable challenges, I believe they have the potential to become a dominant force in the global e-commerce landscape.
I share your optimism, and I think their story offers valuable insights for anyone interested in understanding the future of e-commerce. Whether you're a business owner, an investor, or simply a curious consumer.
Absolutely. Global-e's journey is a testament to the power of technology, the importance of global thinking, and the potential for companies to create value by connecting people and businesses across borders.
Well said. It's been a pleasure dissecting this earnings call with you.
Likewise, always a great time diving deep into these companies with you.
And to our listeners, thanks for joining us on Talk Tickers. We hope you found this deep dive informative and insightful. We encourage you to do your own research and stay tuned for our next episode, where we'll tackle another fascinating company in the world of business and finance.
Until then, happy investing.